So in this video we will check what is UV unwrapping. Okay, so basically UV unwrapping means it is like a previous step or the first step before going to texturing. Okay, you are doing the texturing, right? Before that you should do unwrapping. Okay, for that what I will do, I will add one object, shift A mesh, one cylinder I will add, grab over Z axis top में. Okay, I will add it here. So इधर मैं रखता हूँ, and in order to isolate this one I will hit slash so that it will isolate, all other are vent. Okay, if you want everything back, then again slash you can click. Okay, I will hit again, so it is isolated. Okay, now what I will do, I will hit UV editing here. Okay, so by clicking this one you can see the mapping is showing here. Okay, whatever related to this particular cylinder it is showing here, and you can see it is in edit mode also. Okay, so you can see all the mapping related to this, and you can see there is like a different portion. Okay, so in this is one portion, this is another, and this is one more. So basically we have three different portions, so each portion is called as island. Okay, so this is one. Okay, the connected one, these are connected one, right? So the one, and one more is this, and one more is this. So each one is called as islands. Okay, not just island, it is a UV island actually. So these are the UV island. So like while creating the cylinder itself, all the islands or the UV mapping is created automatically. So how this is happen, so that we should know, right? Okay, let me do one more thing. I will go back to layout itself and I will delete this particular cylinder. Okay, so what I will do, I will add one more cylinder, shift A mesh, and cylinder I added. Okay, that time you can see add cylinder is showing here, the quick access. I will click this one. That time you can see generate UVs is checked. That's why it is automatically added the UVs. Okay, so if you are unchecking, then obviously you won't get the UVs. Let me do one thing. Let me grab this one on Z direction like this, hit slash again. Okay, and I will go to UV editing. Right now you can see, even if I am in edit mode, I couldn't see anything because right now there is no mapping at all. Okay, so what to do for mapping right now? So in order to add any UV mapping, the first step is UV unwrap. Okay, so how to do that? So you can do it in different option, like you can see UV option here, unwrap is here. Okay, that way you can do, or else what you can do, you can hit U. Okay, so let me select all and hit U. Okay, and that time also you can see UV unwrap. Make sure you are selecting everything. Okay, everything in your object. Let me hit UV unwrap. So that time what it will do, it will create the mapping here. Okay, but this is not proper as before, because like in that previous one it is automatically doing, and it is the, like it is done by Blender itself. That's why it is good. Okay, next what I will do, let me go to layout here. Okay, this is what already added. Let me hit slash again so that all other object it will show here. Okay, I have one cylinder here. I will isolate this one. Okay, or else let me delete all other things. Delete and delete. Shift A mesh. I will add one more cylinder. Grab over Z. Okay, and one second. Before that, make sure you are adding the generate UV here. Okay, then grab this one on Z direction. Okay, now if you go to UV editing, you can see the mapping is added here. Okay, now what is the use of this one? The use is like you can select everything. You can do any, like by hitting S you can scale. Okay, by clicking G you can move here and there. Everything you can do, but nothing is changing in your object, because here there is no mapping, is like the texture is added. Okay, that's why. So in order to add it, what we can do, we can add it using material. And what I will do right now, from edit mode to object mode I will go. I am just selecting this object and I will go to material. Let me add new material. Okay, if I want, I can add a new color for this one. Okay, let me add image texture, that is better. Right now I don't want to select any images. Instead what I will do, I will create a new image. So let me hit this new button here. Okay, and you can see the name I can give anything. Okay, let me give something called as cylinder grid or anything. Okay, then you can see generator type, it is showing blank. You can, like, we can choose blank, that is fine, but in our case right now what I will do, I will select UV grid. Okay, so that it will create a UV grid and I will hit OK. And if I go back to material viewport shading, you can see the grid is added here. Okay, but you will tell, okay, the UV the texture is added, but I couldn't see anything here. So one thing is very important, like while you are doing UV mapping, you should be there in edit mode. Okay, from object mode to edit mode I am going. So right now you can see the mapping is showing. And one more thing, like, see, I am just hitting somewhere outside at that time. Okay, and make by default this is disabled in like the latest blender and all. So this is disabled at that time. Like if you are selecting any faces, right, so it will show in your UV here. Okay, so if I am selecting the faces, some faces, those faces will be shown in the UV panel here. Okay, now if I am selecting this one, it is showing here. If you want to select all, then you can click A. Here I will click A so that it will show all the faces related things on this panel. And one more thing, like if you want to do, see here the checks are added, right? So if you want to do like the scaling, these texture you want to scale it, at that time you can select all here. Okay, then hit yes, then you can see the textures are rearranging. Okay, and the size of textures, it is getting increased. I mean sorry, the checks are adding here. If you want a huge big checks, then you can decrease the size here. By decreasing the size, you can see at this particular portion we have few checks, that is what added here. Okay, that is how it is. So in your case, like if you couldn't find this image here, okay, that there might be the chances like it is not there. Okay, so it will show everything is or see, in your case you won't see anything. Okay, if that is the case, then what you can do, see, basically one thing you should know, whatever images showing in this panel, it is not at all related to the material of this object. Okay, this object material is different, and whatever image is showing in your UV editing panel here, it is completely different. So this is just for reference we are adding. Okay, if I add anything here, let me select anything, so this texture I added, so this is not at all related to this material. Okay, this is not at all related. So you can add any image here, any image you can add it. So that is one more thing that you should keep it in mind. Now what I will do, let me select the checks only. Okay, cylinder grid I will select. So this is the one more thing you should keep it in mind. Now one more thing, like if you want to work, okay, what I will do now, if you want, you can go to like vertex, edge or faces, anything. So if I select this face or this face, see, it is showing here. So using this reference you can adjust it properly. So basically you can do anything. So you can select the face and you can do like hit S here and you can adjust it accordingly, or else you can decrease it. At that time you can see the mapping is changing here. Okay, and like that for this particular face, if you want to change it, that also you can do. See, it is changing for this one, like that you can do. Okay, if you want to grab this one here and there, that also you can do. If you want to rotate it, you can rotate like this. So anything is possible. And one more thing you should keep it in mind. See, right now whatever we took is a cylinder. This is like a base mesh we took. Okay, and like here it is already this the mapping is done properly, it is added. Okay, so in your case, like if you have any complex shape and all, at that time the mapping it won't be proper. Okay, it won't be proper, it will be like complex thing, it will be here and there, everything is messed. That time what you have to do, you have to do the unwrapping. That is important factor, that you have to do it the first priority. Okay, that you should do, otherwise you cannot work on that one. And let me go to layout and let me delete this one. Okay, and right now whatever what we are saying, like already added UV. Okay, I added a UV to a particular object. How can I remove that UV? That is what we are saying here. So one thing we saw previously, like if you don't want any UV, then that generate UV you can remove, uncheck. At that time it won't create any UV. But suppose you already added the UVs and everything, and now you don't want that UV, then what you can do? See, let me add one. Okay, in order to know that one, let me add one cube. Okay, so I added one cube, and say generate UV is added here. Let me take it up like this. Okay, and if I go to UV editing, you can see the UV editing is added here, and grid is there. So this grid is not at all related to any material, so this is for reference. And what I will do, if I don't want this one, I can remove this. So I will click this one. At that time the images went. You can see the just how this island is, UV island is present. Okay, in order to remove this UV mapping, then what you can do? So you can see there is a data property here. Okay, so there you can go and you will see something called as UV maps. So if you click here, you can see there is something called as UV map already added. So if you want to add multiple UV map, that you can add it here. Okay, or else you can remove this way. Same way, if you want to remove the existing one, then you can click this one. So it is deleted here. Okay, why we need to remove this one, you will ask, right? So let me show you, because this is what already we have. I just hit Ctrl Z and see, let me do one thing. I will select this particular face. Okay, and I will hit I and again extrude, something like this. So basically you will like change your base mesh to some other models, right? You will do everything, a lot of changes and all you will do. But if you click all, you can see it is showing the same UV mapping. Having this same UV mapping, there is no use at all. You have to do it again, right? So you have to do mapping again and again. That's why, like if you don't want this UV mapping anymore, you will do it from your scratch. Then you can delete this UV map and you can create it a new one by unwrapping it. Okay, so it will create a new one, and in that way you can create a new one. Okay.